Mira, pero ven acá, no se metan para acá, porque no sabemos qué hay ahí que se cae. Sí.
Welcome back, team. And on this episode of What's Going On with BRICS, well, it's all kicking off this morning here on the Costa. One, it's all cloudy and literally just starting to rain on me as I set off. But two, wow, let me tell you, the US just captured, according to Donald Trump on Truth Social, the US just went into a foreign state, you know, Venezuela, invaded it and snatched the leader, the elected leader of that state. And they've taken him and his wife. I mean, I can't believe I'm reading this out, but look, this is just the title. I'm just at the title. So if you're new to the channel, then take a moment and yeah, subscribe to the channel. Click the little subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified when new episodes drop. Now let's get stuck into, I mean, this is kind of bizarre news that I'm reporting on my way back from the gym, team. So yeah, let's go. Trump, yeah, just announced on Truth Social that Maduro has been captured. Dramatic overnight raid. We're 3 January today, 2026. We've only just started 2026. For God's sake, give us a rest. We deserve a rest after 2025. Mate, give us a bloody rest, will you? He's confirmed that US forces have carried out a large-scale strike on Venezuela. If you're all over X at the moment, you'll see the videos that have been posted by locals showing all these. There's one of an Apache gunship just emptying its rockets. These are unguided rockets onto a target just above what looks like a port or a city. It's pretty urban. So, and then a whole bunch of Chinook, heavy troop-carrying helos flying through with an escort of these gunships. So, and then a lot of large LGB sort of laser-guided bomb looking explosions, sort of 2,000 pounder sort of size with secondaries. So there's a lot of action going on the last 2 hours, I think, last couple of hours, according to what's happening on what's being reported on X. Yeah, so she's all kicking off. So yeah, Maduro and his wife reportedly captured, flown out of the country by elite special forces, and I bet they are too. They're no joke. Those boys are in the pub. If you're at the pub, you're sitting on the bar and you're nursing a beer, and then next minute a bunch of US Marines. US Marines probably okay, but US Special Forces, any of those dudes, they've typically got beards and a lot of tattoos and massive chests and backs and arms. Yeah, those boys come in, just finish your beer quietly and leave. That's my advice. Yeah, having been in a few of those bars myself, to finish your beers quietly. Don't make any attention, just leave. Yeah, hoorah. Okay, so explosions have rocked Caracas and coastal areas around 2 a.m. local time. Low-flying aircraft, smoke from military sites and airports. So yeah, it's all kicking off. Now, okay, right, so build up to the operation. So let's go back a little bit of time. Months of escalating pressure. We've seen this all over the news with the US deployed massive assets into the sea area, the ocean around that area. The Gerald Ford carrier group, loads of destroyers. They've got F-35s. They've got a nuclear sub. There are 15,000 troops in the Caribbean. They had the FAA ban flights over Venezuela. And they've had a shift from drug operations to basically a regime change focus. They're just calling it out now. They're just saying, we're going to come and we're going to change your regime. I mean, it's pretty bizarre. Like in the old days, this was all kind of like, behind the curtain stuff that had happened. But now they're literally just saying, we're going to take the guy out. I mean, I guess it's back to the precedent and with Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi, right? Well, we don't like the cut of your cloth. And in particular, if you start talking about a silver dinar, if you start talking about backing your currency with metal, boy, you know, that's going to be the last thing you say. We will be there. And what did Hillary say? We came, we saw, he died. Something like that. And then there was some sort of witchy cackle as she yelled it out. It was like, Jesus Christ, US, come on, we can do better than this. Venezuela's immediate reaction. Emergency and resistance. So the Maduro government declared state of emergency. The defence ministers come out and called for full mobilisation. Now, I think that's actually quite a big deal. Yeah, that's quite a big deal. So I imagine this was a hit and run job. So they send in the spec ops and they go and fetch the target, and then they're out. And there's literally no boots on the ground. There'll just be spooks, unbadged spooks, and they'll just be monitoring. So there's nothing for them to attack. They're basically too late. Now the situation will be, well, I guess the West will try and put in place an administration from remote. It'll be like a remote administration. I think they've already picked somebody. They gave her the Nobel Peace Prize. I can't remember her name, but you might know her name. Comment down below. They'll put her in place and anoint her, appoint her. They'll recognise her as the legitimate leader of Venezuela. That'll be the next step. You watch for that, team. Right, so yeah, accuses this defence secretary said he accuses the US of imperialist aggression, power outages and chaos in the capital. Right, paramilitaries have been deployed, protests are expected, blah, 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 we don't care. Honestly, I mean, the West doesn't care. They're just watching Fox News going, "Hoorah!" That's all we're doing. That's all we're, sorry Venezuela, but look, I mean, I think it's terrible. I think it's absolutely shit. But you know what the West, we in the West are doing? We're just going, look how strong we are. Look how, there'll be like all these graphics that are going to come out on the mainstream media. There'll be all these graphics about how the helicopters flew over, and they'll be all animated, and they'll show like, you know, all this war stuff that looks really fancy and great. Like Tom Clancy, like a Tom Clancy novel. That's what's about to be on TV. Just you watch. Just you watch. Right, so let's look at the global shockwaves, well, or lack of global shockwaves, we'll see. So Russia and China have condemned as a threat to peace, and emergency UN talks have been called. Oh, Jesus, well that's nothing. That's a big fat nothing burger, Russia and China. So you guys are like, yeah, fine, whatever, we don't care, we don't even know the guy. Who is this guy, Maduro? I mean, I don't really know him, so yeah, I mean, probably should take care of things better if he's going to get abducted by the Americans. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening, but, you know, we'll see. If you think different, comment down below. Latin American leaders are protesting. What do you mean protesting? Well, going on TV and protesting, because that's not really a protest, is it? That's just going on TV. You're just calling it a protest. Yeah, they're protesting over the US overreach. Big yawn. Big fat yawn, team. Big fat yawn. Cuba has vowed solidarity. What does vow mean? It's just more of the same shit. They're just going on TV and going, we're vowing to do something, but you never bloody do it because you can't. And muted from NATO partners. UK, Canada made careful statements, very careful statements. We're going to talk about that shortly, team, because that's a bit rich. Okay, let's go back to link this to the 2025 NSS and the Monroe Doctrine. We had a bit of a deep dive on this recently, team. If you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it, it's well worth it. It talks about the Monroe Doctrine and then the corollary that was added to that recently by the Trump administration about 2-3 weeks ago. They basically came out and said, well, the Monroe Doctrine said, this is our hemisphere, piss off. Anybody from who's outside of this hemisphere, Russia, China, you know, people like you don't come into our hemisphere. That's the deal. That was the Monroe Doctrine. And the corollary is they're just sort of tightening up around that and being a little bit more explicit, basically. So, the US invokes Monroe to exclude outsiders from America, but then intervened in Russia's backyard. That's a very good show note. Well done, show notes. In Ukraine and China's backyard in Taiwan. Look at that hypocrisy. Well, well, well. Isn't that interesting? So, you know, could we see a quid pro quo? Could strikes here, oh, I've just got a severe rain warning on my phone. I better keep walking. Christ, I might be able to get out, bloody, end up like a drowned rat. I'm enjoying myself too much, team. All right, okay, so yeah, strikes could justify Russia and Chinese responses elsewhere. Ah, okay, elsewhere, so asymmetric. Okay, that makes sense. I can kind of see that happening. I don't see anything happening down in Venezuela anytime soon, because there's just nothing for them. There's a lot of potential risk and cost, but there's no real gain. Nobody wants all that heavy crude that's in. I mean, Russia doesn't want it. Maybe China wants it, but indirectly, and they've got enough gas from Russia anyway, so they don't really care. They're all good right now. Maybe in the future they probably want access to those fields. Okay, so China's likely response, the SCO and indirect options. So yeah, let's have a bit of a look at the SCO. We haven't really gone into the SCO. I just don't have bloody time to get to it, team. But it's really critical. It's a really key part of BRICS. It's not part of BRICS, it's a corollary. It's like an adjacency to BRICS, but it's kind of like NATO, but it's for the BRICS. It's the NATO it's the BRICS version of NATO. So SCO and indirect options. So via the SCO, the lead, the condemnation, joint statements, bloody jawboning basically. Joint statement on sovereignty, big yawn. Other mediation or aid, big yawn. Indirect, they could accelerate Belt and Road in Latin America. Well, why wouldn't they've done it earlier? Big yawn. The yuan trade with Venezuela, oh my God. But next we'll be talking about like the BRICS unit again. What a waste of time that is. Yeah, so basically big yawn. Hypothetical, they could restrict rare earths or dump treasuries to hit, oh, whatever. Well, it's just, they're not going to do that. That's like a nuclear option, so you're not going to get that sort of crap. I've got to better cross the crossing now. Oh, this car waits me, thank you. Okay, here we go, team. Russia's likely response, well, I imagine it's just the same. SCO, indirect options via the SCO, push anti-West rhetoric, joint drills, intel sharing, proxies, escalate Ukraine, deploy, and it's an interesting one, deploy advisors or S-400 systems, whatever, but basically nothing. But they could actually, yeah, look, I mean, part of this is like, why, I'm like, what is we, 3 January 2026, and look, if you go and listen to what some of the independent analysts are saying on the Ukraine situation, it does appear to be moving much, much faster than it has at any time over the last 4 years, moving against Ukraine and in favour of Russia. Now, this is not my domain. I don't go into this stuff because it's got a lot of place names that I just couldn't even try to pronounce, and I don't really understand the whole domain, and it's complicated, so I've just stayed out of it and I just look at it at a higher level, which I'm doing right now. But I am wondering if this is kind of not a direct distraction, not a planned distraction, but like it's just a really great timing really for Trump to kick off something, anything, maybe multiple things, to detract from what's happening over in Ukraine. I think there's some big moves happening over there right now, team. And I think the timing is really good for the West, because it does act as a real distraction to what we're seeing, you know, what the analysts are talking about over there in Ukraine. I mean, it does feel like it's moving incredibly quickly, if you know what I mean. So good luck to all those Ukrainian boys on the front line. If you can, get yourselves out. Get yourselves away to safety. I don't know how that works. I just don't know, team. I really don't know. But my heart bleeds for those poor buggers in the trenches. They're freezing their asses off there right now, team. So, you know, let's spare a thought for those young kids that have been, you know, conscripted and standing in the trench right now, facing the full force of Russia, the anger of Russia, really. Anyway, look, changing track. I just thought I'd just reflect on the timing, because the timing does seem to be incredibly opportunistic for Team West and the Trump administration. So there may be something in that, and I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if something kicks off in, let's say, Yemen, or just randomly pick Iran. I mean, it could be Iran. We'll just pick that one randomly out of the cards that are on the table. You know, you could easily do something in Iran without really ruffling feathers and get a lot of PR out of that. So that would definitely distract from what's happening in Ukraine. So how dangerous is this for the US? I posted on on X a few minutes ago, I posted a question to Grok and asked, do they have those, you know, those things, in the military, I was in the military, we used to have this thing called a stinger, and you could point it up at an aircraft flying past and pull the trigger and poof, it'll go away and hit the aircraft and take it down. And I've never fired one with team, but they're like a dime a dozen, you know, they're all over the place, and their export is tightly managed because you don't want these things falling into the wrong hands. But it works out that the Chinese, they've got a copy of a Russian equivalent to the Stinger, and they sell them like candy. You just go down and buy, like, how would you like, 6, 12? Would you like a 12 pack? You know, so this is what's kind of triggered my thinking. I'm like, shit, you know, all these Chinooks, these are big, fat, slow, lazy targets. They're just cruising. I mean, they're full of spec ops as well. So now they've got gunships monitoring them, and they'll have AWACS up there looking after them as well. So, I mean, they should be okay. They should be okay. But yeah, it is a bit risky because one of these things they fly, you know, when you put them on your shoulder and you pull that trigger, the flight time is like seconds. It's seconds, especially when these guys are flying so low. In the video, you can see they were flying at about 1,000 feet. So they're very, like, it's not even seconds really, to be fair. You know, you pull that trigger, you hear the whoosh, and then you hear the bang. So now my question to Grok was, is it a bit reckless, you know, sending the spec ops in there, because you're basically flying through an area where the probability of these weapons being available is quite high, and maybe they were just rolling the dice and hoping to get in quick and get past those threats. Because it does take a bit of time to get it out of the box and to arm it and all the rest of it. So once you pull the trigger, it's done. But getting it ready to go is something else. So maybe they were just basically using the you know, the benefit of surprise to get past those threats and get in there. I mean, if anyone can do it, Spec Ops can do it. Those boys know how to get it done. So they obviously planned and trained for a long time on that scenario. Right, so yeah, how dangerous for the US? Well, that was probably the only danger I can think of, is really getting whacked by one of these SAMs, shoulder mount SAMs, manpads. Okay, so what about a regional backlash? Whatever, who cares, we're the West. BRICS narrative, could it be a win for the BRICS? Could be, actually it could be, it is really. It's a win for BRICS because it's amplifying this bloody hypocrisy. I mean, look, I'm pro West, right? I love the West. The West is great. Go West! But it's a bit bloody hypocritical, right? What we're doing right now is, you know, it's a bit of a face palm. I can understand why the timing works, but the actual thing itself is, I'm not proud of that. You know, I'm not proud of that. So let's have a look at the Western allies and their responses. So Keir Starmer in the UK. Bugger all from Keir Starmer, actually. He's like, oh no, that's fine. That seems fine to me. With a, you know, I say with an apple in my mouth, a British accent. Oh, this seems quite fine to me. I don't know how Keir Starmer talked, but yeah, I mean, he's not said a thing. So that's really informative. That informs you. That should tell you everything you need to know about the hypocrisy of the United Kingdom, because they were absolutely going mental, totally mental, when Russia invaded Ukraine, and for good reason. But when the US invades Venezuela, it's crickets. I mean, bro, what are you doing? Do you know what an idiot you look like? You look like a total idiot. Who else is there? Christopher Luxon from my country, from New Zealand. Bro, you got to do something. You can't just sit there quietly and take this from even though we're in Five Eyes. I know we're in Five Eyes. I know we need to stay in the club. But Winston as well, Uncle Winston. Love you, Winston. You're great bloke. But bro, you got to say something here. You can't let this stand. You have to have something on the record to, you know, let it be known that this is, you know, we're not hypocrites, right? That's what you need to make sure that we're not on the record as being bloody hypocrites. Anthony Albanese, same boat, mate. You're in the same boat. You need to step up and bloody say something. Ursula von der Leyen and Kaja Kallas from the EU. Well, I'm not expecting anything from them, but they are in the same boat, in my opinion. They've made no declarations, and they've not sanctioned the US. There's no sanctions on the US, and yet they basically reached for the, 40, 50 sanctions now on Russia. for doing the same thing. Russia invaded. In fact, Russia didn't even fetch the PM and his wife. They didn't even do that. They just invaded. They left Zelensky and his wife alone. And they just, well, they did some bad shit, of course, but like, I mean, we're just comparing apples for apples, and, well, come on, team. Come on, you can't stand by and just let this, let this American action stand as it is. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You got to call it out. It's illegal aggression, and it should result in sanctions, massive sanctions. There should be some cost to America doing this, or you're all corrupt. Basically, you're all corrupt if you don't call this out. So, come on, guys. Come on. At least call it out. At least declare that it is not a legal action. It is illegal to do this. You don't stand by this action by the US. I think it's probably the only way to go. Otherwise, you will end up basically in the same camp as them. They'll drag you into their narrative, into their story, and you'll be no better than they are. So, I mean, that's the challenge to us in the West. I mean, you've got to really pick your time, and I think the time is now to do something for that. So, yeah, bloody interesting news that has just dropped. And if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, then subscribe to the channel. And if you really liked it and thought, well, shit, I know some bloke, or I know some bird who might enjoy, or not, may think this guy's an absolute wanker, then yeah, forward this to them, and let them know that they can have a bit of a look, get in the comments, and give it to me. I'm up for it. Cheers, team. Bye.
Thanks for watching today's episode of What's Going On with BRICS. If you're here on YouTube, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and tap the bell icon so you're notified when new episodes drop. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, come join the community over on Substack. Just search for What's Going On with BRICS to stay connected and get extra updates. Thanks again. I'll see you on the next one.